Okay, Scorpio, we're gonna try this yet again, because I am not a bitch to give up. But this is getting annoying, to be honest. I don't know if it's your energy knocking out my video. You're the only one I've had this problem with. Literally, the only thing holding up Leo and Aquarius reading is yours. The only reason I haven't gotten everything posted before the first was your videos has been causing me so much problems. But I left off. I don't know what it is. Somebody doesn't want you to hear a message. Somebody doesn't want you to hear something. You don't want to hear something. I don't know where the stubbornness is coming from, but it is definitely here. I did leave off at the Ten of Pentacles, that your finances are looking good and something is definitely coming in by way of career. A new business, a new promotion, a new course, a change in your career, possibly an opportunity, but something that brings in stability in the finance department. And with the Eight of Wands present makes me feel like this is something that also comes in swiftly and out of nowhere. Like you go back to work and that person who filled the position that you've always wanted is no longer with the company. I just saw 111, so you guys might be seeing 1111, 111, 11, 10, 10, synchronistic numbers. That just means your angels are nearby and your manifestations are coming true. Just stay positive and keep your vibrations high, right? Because like I said, that this is coming in swiftly and out of nowhere. You see? Somebody doesn't want to hear, somebody doesn't want you to hear this message. Strangely, it's coming up right now with the Ten of Pens. I'm going to kind of jump ahead because I did look at the bottom of the sword of the deck and it was the Seven of Swords, which is usually my person, like a sneaky person in the midst energy. However, it makes me feel like if this is a career-related reading, this was more of a you got to where you're about to get by any means necessary type of, like, you did what it took, whatever it took, to make the bosses realize, okay, next in line is you. Or if this is something where you were in competition with somebody else in a company for this position, you did whatever you had to do to get that, to get your way. There's something interesting about that I'll bring in later on, but it's more of a third party energy. It does feel like there's another person working on a project with you, and possibly a team or a third or a three-party team who is trying to either get rid of you, so it could be just them, or get rid of them, so it can be just the two of you. And that can also apply to a relationship. You guys know how this message fits. I'm not sure why that came in. But I also got the Nine of Swords. Now, this is the anxiety card. This is the sleepless nights card. This is the, stressed out. This is the, high blood pressure, all that, okay? Which brings me back to the original card that we started, which was the Five of Pentacles, which I told you is usually the card of being left out in the cold, but came across more as like a worrying anxiety card that may be causing some health issues. So that kind of reiterates to me that this is something that you need to keep an eye on. The number one killer in this country is stress. And the way things have been going lately for everyone financially and with jobs and losing loved ones and protests and energy shifts and astrological changes. And I mean, there's a lot of shit going on, a lot of energy in the air. Some of you may not know how to vent that energy properly, how to communicate that properly with somebody. And that's where I told you to watch your communication, because that might be a little off right now also. And it's always off with Mercury in retrograde. Even me, even technology fucks up. Like, messages don't get through. People misinterpret things, people misspeak. You might mean to say one thing and it comes out another way. Or you might say it one way and somebody take it totally, different than you meant it. The Nine of Swords to me is also a card of like not having the right balance of things. So you're maybe not feeling right. So this is also pertaining to the health situation. For some of you, there may be an issue of over drinking, over partying, over indulging in something not so healthy for you, not exercising, not eating right, not getting enough rest, not hydrating properly, or all of the above, which, like I said, it brings me back to the Five of Pence, and my concern for your health issues. You got also the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is usually a card of situations, cycles, opening and closing, right? Either the beginning or the end of a cycle. But it's in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana card. And these are changes that are being brought to you by the universe. And it feels like you're almost fighting against the tide, like you're not going with the flow. Either that or there is one particular situation that you do not want to end, or somebody else doesn't want to end and is trying their damnedest not to let it end. But you have to understand that with new beginnings, or with endings come new beginnings, right? Sometimes something has to end in order for something new to begin. And this is no different. It also has a feeling of a situation that keeps repeating itself, like over and over again, remanifesting or presenting itself to you in one way or another, on one scope or another, to one level or another, because either you're not addressing the situation, especially if it's a health issue, that's not going to go away. Go get that checked. And it may creep up on you. And if this is a situation or another situation, especially regarding a relationship, it's the same fucking merry-go-round. Like, are you going to get off the merry-go-round, or are you going to keep going for another decade or so with the same shit, Fortitude popped out as the Nine of Wands. Also, you're almost able to put whatever these burdens are down, but you have to be able to let go of bitterness, resentment, anger, a sorrow, the heartbreak with the Three of Swords that popped up, okay? The I told you so, the like throwing shit in people's faces. And again, if this is vice versa, then you have to be willing to let go of people making you feel that way. Like, this is the only energy they're coming at you with, because that's not really conducive for anything, is it? There are ways to communicate without being so toxic. But all of these feelings are exactly that. They're toxic. It's toxicity. And what's going to be is going to be regardless. So why poison yourself with that type of energy, right? It's like you take 5 steps forward and you take 3 steps back. Watch your communication, like I said. You already know about Mercury in retrograde, and it's wreaking havoc on communication totally all the way around. Let me see, I already told you about that. Okay, so we've been going from, like I mentioned, we've been going from eclipse to retrogrades, all kinds of planets in retrogrades, and then going direct, and then another one going retrograde, and then another eclipse, and then there's another eclipse coming up. So there's a lot of shifts going on. And it's like we're not getting a break in between. So it's got everybody kind of feeling out of sorts, and a lot of people coming out of their phase and acting out of character. So fall back, especially when it comes to relationships. If you feel angry, take a few steps back, take a breather before you start communicating. You don't want to say something to someone that you don't want to take back, or that you can't take back. Also understand the energy, so that if somebody's coming at you a certain way, you already know what's going on, so you have the maturity level to take a few steps back and be able to, reassess the situation, or you be the cool-headed one in the situation, you know what I mean? Where you, listen, I can see you're feeling some kind of way, I'm gonna give you a few minutes to calm down, and we'll talk later when you're feeling, up to it, or when you're feeling more like yourself, when you're feeling more like you can communicate, without being this upset. I don't want you to be this upset, that type of thing. Like diffuse situations type of thing, okay? What else did I get for you? It's so much, because I started then this again last night and I just gave up. This is why I'm doing a reading like this, because I've done this reading I don't know how many times, and I don't know why yours is the only reading that I'm having this problem with, but it has been the only reading that I've been having this problem with. And it was basically the same message, so I just pretty much wrote down everything I could remember, but then as I was writing down the stuff from the reading, I was getting more downloads, so it's a little messy, so just bear with me, because I've got a notebook that I was scribbling like crazy last night on. Was trying to do your reading this morning, again last night. I mean, it's like I've been in your energy, forget it. And I'm a Scorpio moon, so I can really, I can relate, and I can sit in that energy and feel it. Okay, let's see. Retrogrades, eclipses, one shift to another. Okay, so like I was saying, yeah, you don't want to say something to somebody that you can't take back, that would hurt them. Also, something you're not letting go of is causing you this grief and this anxiety and these health issues. Either because you think this is ideal for you, this might be a specific person out there, I don't know. Either you think this is an ideal situation, excuse me, I'm sorry, I heard something outside. You think this is an ideal situation for you, or this is more like something that you've become complacent with, because I did get the 4 of Cups. And in that particular deck, it was like a card of luxury, but to me, it felt more like, okay, you've become complacent with the crumbs you're getting or have been getting in a certain situation. And I'm hearing somebody is complacent maybe for a specific few of you. I don't know who this pertains to, but they think this is either the best thing they can do or the best you can do, or the person you're with thinks that you're the best, that they're never going to do any better than you, in other words, so they won't let you go. Or something about this connection is related to finances. Possibly somebody in this connection feeling like this is your like power couple partner, I guess, you know what I mean? Even if you don't have that type of love and passion for them, but you see yourself, this person has certain traits that are very 3D-ish, and you see yourself like getting a lot of 3D type of abundance with this person, right? This is very, very, very Pentacles feeling energy. Like this is an energy that will eventually end up bringing you wealth or stability, or is the perfect relationship in the public eye, right? Like this is what you think people think would be the ideal match for you, even if it's not somebody that you want to be with. I don't know what the hell that slamming is, really. Sorry. Okay. So some people get complacent in situations that aren't good for them, but for whatever reason, they find it easier to stay. It's like the devil you know type of energy, right? Devil you know is better than the one you don't know. So you stay with the devil you know. No, that's not the answer either. Because before I stay with the devil I know and get with the devil I don't know, then I'd rather be by my fucking self. You understand? So I pulled some clarifiers, beginning with the 5 of Pentacles that I got originally. And fuck me if this is not crazy, because out of each deck is 78 cards. Like this is 78 cards. So for one card to pop out of one deck and then for me to use another deck to clarify that card and get the same exact card from a whole different deck, okay, with 78 cards also. There's no such thing as coincidences. So, but this 5 of Pents to me seemed like a situation that had been handled poorly, bringing me back again to the health situation. And I don't know who this is for, but really, 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 you need to go get this looked at. Something's not being balanced, or something is not being observed, something you're supposed to do for yourself. Medication you're supposed to take, a diet you were supposed to be on, exercise you should be doing. Maybe you're partying too much, maybe you're not hydrating enough. I mentioned all that earlier. All these can cause health issues, stress. If you don't have a balance in life, everything is about the yin and the yang. It's all about balance, right? It's all about balancing the scales. Whatever this means to you and however it resonates, you'll know what this is if it's a message that's meant for you. Okay. Anxiety card was clarified by the Queen of Swords. So I feel like this anxiety is coming on the heels of either a truth that was communicated and something that was cut off, like severed, like done. I don't feel though that this severing was done by you, Scorpio. I feel like it's something you feel was like taken from you almost, if that makes any sense. And so you're kind of relentless in trying to either manifest it back or actually pursue it back into your life again. And so on the fucking merry-go-round we go again, right? Which is why certain situations just keep repeating themselves, like a broken record, with a different cover band every time, I'm hearing. But it's like the same results. It's time to wake up, because you got a lot of wheels in your, I remember seeing a lot of circles in your readings, and I don't normally focus on that, but that to me is cycle, like the same shit keeps repeating itself. And until you you know, decide you're gonna wake up, it's gonna continue. And I don't know if you've ever heard this saying. It's a very, you know, famous and logical saying to me, but you know, the definition of insanity is like repeating the same actions yet expecting a different result each time. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? You gotta do shit different, like, you know. This truth or this Queen of Swords energy that came in is definitely something that you didn't want to hear, or you don't want to know, or you choose to ignore because ignorance is bliss, right? And I'm getting the feeling that some of you are choosing to live in denial or simply just ignore what the universe keeps trying to show you or tell you, or like, you know. And again, don't get offended if this is the person you're dealing with, and that's fine. Energy jumps back and forth. So when I'm picking up on energy, it could be yours, it could be the person you're dealing with. You know which role applies to you, right? But if this is you, then I think you really need to listen up. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse was clarified by the Fool. So this is, you don't want a new beginning, or this person doesn't want a new beginning. Whoever doesn't want this cycle to end does not want this new beginning, but this is a new beginning that's being brought to you whether you want it or not. These are life changes that are, the Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana. Those are changes that are out of your hands, you know what I mean? And I know, like I mentioned earlier, you Scorpios do tend to feel a little out of your element, out of yourself when you're not, when you don't have full control of like the outcome of certain situations or certain things happening in your life. Of course, as anybody would, but particularly Scorpios are very take charge people, and they're used to getting things done, and they like things a certain way, and they like things done, you know. So okay, so somebody here does not want a new beginning and a new relationship, and somebody doesn't want it to end. You don't want this to end, but it's out of your hands, and that's what's driving you crazy. Or vice versa, like I said. Okay, Strength and the Six of Wands came out. So if you stand your ground and finally let go of what no longer serves you, you're going to be successful in everything else that you're trying to accomplish that seems to be kind of lagging. You already possess everything that you need to be victorious and successful. For some of you, even famous. You don't need this person, this endless love, and that's what I think the cycles are about. Also, remember, I told you in the beginning of the, I don't know if I explained, but I shuffle songs usually on the radio, but for you, I didn't get to shuffle. The song just came right into my head. But it just kept feeling like Diana, that's what I said. It was only Diana Ross's part looping over and over again if you go to the beginning. Okay, so now I understand. Okay, yeah, so you're gonna be successful in everything that you seek and more, because it's like there are blessings that the universe is trying to bring you that you don't even know about. You already possess everything you need, like the Magician. I told you he didn't come out, but I'm surprised he didn't. For some of you to be even famous, like I said, you don't need the crumbs that this person is giving you or has been giving you. This is like an obsession or bordering obsession, and you have to realize that, right? Or the person has to realize that. Let's see what else. Yeah, don't stay complacent. And that's where the Ten of Wands comes in. It's on you to drop the burdens, okay? That you don't have to carry this burden anymore. This is like a time of change. Everybody's changing. Everybody's going inward and doing some, you know, introspection and kind of reassessing situations and looking at shit like, well, life is too short. Obviously, we've seen, and things can change from one day to another. And is it really worth it for me to waste any more time on a situation that's not making me happy? So you need to either close out the circle for good or let go of the past in order to move forward successfully. And that means if it's a relationship that you've decided to forgive this person for whatever it is that they did, then you need to let go of what they did, because you already forgave them. So you can't keep throwing that shit in their face like this, and then but say that you forgave them. That's not forgiving. You want to move forward with more stability in your career, in your relationships, whatever you want to advance in right now. So that's what it's going to take. The Three of Pentacles with the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups was clarifying. The Three of Pentacles was clarifying the Four of Cups, which is a collaboration, a friendship, or a relationship that have been trying to tell you something, but it's not advice you choose to listen to. I did say that earlier. Very stubborn energy, very much so the energy that you've been working, like there's something you've been working on that you don't seem to have the answer to, but it's been put in your face by the universe, like here, you know, and you either don't see it or you're choosing to ignore it because you don't like the way it's being brought in. But the answer is really right in front of you. When you do that, you're going against the flow of the universe. You're sending the universe mixed signals. So if you ask for something and it's bringing it to you in a certain way, we don't have control of the way that the universe manifests things in our lives. We just have to have faith and take the steps toward making things happen, and have faith that things are going to fall in place in order to have that happen. But like how it happens is totally out of our hands, you know. And so you need to realize when there are signs in front of you that the universe is trying to show you. So getting back to you're not letting somebody go, sometimes that's the very thing you need in order to get that thing that you want. You got to let something go to see if it comes back to you, right? I know it's an old cliche, but it is very true. You can't smother something into wanting to be there. You can't force something. You can't force a square peg into a round hole, right? And that was validated by the Two of Cups. So that very much makes me feel like there's a romance here. So there has to be a cooperation. There has to be an equal give and take. Everything cannot be on your terms or that person's terms. Like, it has to be an equal give and take. Otherwise, what's the point? If you're asking for something from the universe and it's rejecting it, but you're rejecting or ignoring the way the universe is trying to bring it to you, then you're sending mixed signals. I told you, and the universe isn't going to bring it to you anymore because you're not being clear on what you want. Also, just as a side thought, a lot of times we ask for things from the universe and it will send you something disguised as something close to what you want, or it'll send you something from the past or resembling something in the past to see if you've really learned your lesson, if you're really ready for what you asked for. So be leery during this time, during this Mercury in retrograde, because aside from communication problems, it also brings back the past and a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, a lot of the past that should stay in the past comes back to test you a little bit. So you have to, you know, keep your eyes open about that. Keep your mind open, and keep your intuition open. Yeah, if you're asking for something, like I said, you know, it just better go with the ebb and flow of how things are brought. Sometimes it's uncomfortable and we think something horrible is happening, and then later on we realize, oh my God, if it hadn't been for this, then I wouldn't have gotten that. Or if it hadn't been for this, I wouldn't have met this person. Or, you know, it's a blessing in disguise, in other words, right? The Eight of Pentacles showed at the bottom of the deck, so you still have a lot of work to do on yourself, on your relationships, on whatever the project is. You have a lot of work to do. And it feels more like self-work though, you know, like going inward and taking accountability for things that you've done, for the way that you've treated people, and, you know, being willing to recognize those things that you need to change about yourself, right? Because it's all about growing here while we're here on this earth. So I did pull some cards for what to look out for, and you did get the card of irresponsibility. So like I said, be accountable for your actions, take responsibility for your actions, be responsible with the way that you communicate with people, like the runes in the beginning. Be responsible for how you go about cutting things off that need to be cut off. Also, in a work situation, feels like someone, I told you, wants to collaborate. I did write this down, I guess. Like there could be, if it's a relationship, there might be a third party situation, or someone is trying to get rid of a third party situation, like be the one with you or the one with the other person. Just get rid of somebody in a third party situation. So either just you and them, or they're trying to push you out so that they can be with the other person. This could be a work collaboration, or this could be a relationship. You take it how it resonated. And the other card that I got for you is Fixated, again bringing me to that Nine of Swords, where I was saying things feel off balance. They feel like you're not taking care of yourself the right way, possibly partying too much. This is a card of elixirs. This is being fixated on the wrong thing, especially trying to make something work that's clearly over, and you're not allowing the cycle to close. So of course it's going to continue causing anxiety and sleepless nights, which can cause illness. Also watch out for overindulging, like I said. So the elixirs part makes me feel like in whatever frustration you're sitting in or feeling, you may, and this is, again, this is not every Scorpio, but for a specific person who needs to hear this message, you have been self-medicating, and this may also be what causes health issues. So you need to rein that in, and work on other aspects of yourself, right? So that you can become centered in other ways. There are other ways to get grounded and centered and feel better, okay? Then this unhealthy behavior or drowning your sorrows or like overindulging, okay? I pulled a bitchy advice from the universe card. I know everybody doesn't like that, but I love that deck. So that was, what card did you get? Oh, you need a big fucking hug, squeeze. And that's just the universe trying to comfort you and telling you that everything's gonna be okay if you just go with the flow. If you follow your intuition and you stay on top of your health and learn whatever you need to learn in order to hone your craft and move forward in your career, you know, and what you should be focused on. You know, Scorpios, you guys are a water sign. You're very, very intuitive, but you're also very stubborn, and a lot of you choose to ignore that intuition, but I feel like you already know what this is referring to. The other card that you got was you do you. Stop trying to change people. That shit never works, and it's true. The only person we have control of is ourselves, our own actions, our own reactions, the way we allow people to treat us, the way we react to the way people treat us. That's all us, right? So focus on yourself. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, controlling what anybody else is doing, manipulating a situation, manipulating an outcome. The only person you are responsible for is yourself. The only person you can change or control is yourself. Work on your craft. I get the impression someone may be getting in your way or attempting to get in your way, but don't let anybody stop you from achieving your dreams or anything that you've decided that you want to do now with your life. Even if you are changing or taking a radical change in course, in career, of course, don't quit a job without having something to rely on, obviously. But if you're at a crossroads in your life and you've decided you want to go all the way left instead of veering right the way you've been, then, you know, and that's what you're being guided to do. And we're all here on our own personal journeys. Don't let anybody talk you out of achieving what you've always wanted to achieve, okay? Don't let anybody get into your head, making you feel less confident or making you feel less than in any way possible. Advice from Spirit was the knife, sever, cut it off, let it go. There's that wheel of fortune in the reverse again, right? That wheel that you didn't, that cycle that somebody doesn't want it to end. It has to be like this, clean cut, done. No leaving little by little, no, cut that shit out. And you got smoke, which is like illusions basically, right? So whatever you're seeing or whatever you're being convinced of is all smoke and mirrors. It's a lie, okay? It's illusions. You already know what you have to walk away from. You already know what it is. I don't have to tell you. So that was your reading. I'm sorry that it was done this way, but I don't know why your reading gave me so much trouble. Hopefully next month it'll be a lot lighter energy and I'll be able to show you the cards and all that stuff, because it was actually really cool. Like I would say certain cards might come up and then it would like jump out. But those messages I felt like really angry that I was being stopped from delivering to you. So I wanted to make sure to get those out to you. Please comment in the comment section below if this resonated, how it resonated, or email me or DM me if it's too personal for you to put in the comment section. I do love to connect with you guys. I love to hear how my readings resonated. It's always very interesting to me, and it's still, you know, it's like, you know, it's a learning, it's part of my journey, you know, and it helps me connect with your energy more. Also, like the video. That's the thumbs up. Share with others, subscribe to my channel. It helps me, it helps the channel grow. It helps me get these messages out to those who need to hear them, because it helps the algorithms on YouTube. I don't understand the algorithms very well, but I know that much. So give me a thumbs up. I love you guys. Light and love. Stay up. Try to keep your energy light. And again, watch how you communicate with people, okay? So, peace out.